right? And it's just very important to be honest with us. It's very important to get the truth out, okay? Because the truth is basically which will help everybody.
In a quiet and unsuspecting town nestled in Florida, the stage was set for a tragic tale of love and despair. This is the harrowing story of Randy Herman Jr., a man tortured by his inner demons, and the deep connection he formed with his victim. Join us as we delve into the heart of this chilling saga and explore the depths of a murderer's twisted affections. It was a day like any other when Randy Herman Jr. made the fateful call, confessing to a heinous crime. As the news rippled through the community, Sheriff Steve and his team partner Jeremy were tasked with uncovering the truth behind this haunting tragedy.
Jeremy, basically we just want to try to figure out what happened and what's going on, okay?
Randy had a troubled past, plagued by numerous encounters with the law due to his battles with alcohol. Seeking solace and a fresh start, he relocated to Florida, accompanied by his lifelong friend, Brooke Preston. They were roommates too. As the day approached when Brooke planned to leave for New York, tensions simmered beneath the surface. Randy, grappling with his personal demons, sought refuge in alcohol, spiraling out of control. Fueled by intoxication, his behavior grew erratic and dangerous, prompting Brooke to seek safety with a friend. Little did she know the horrors awaiting her upstairs.
Yes. We know that you're sorry for it. If you weren't, you wouldn't have dialed 911. We know that you're remorseful. Like I said, we need to get in touch with Brooks.
It was in that moment, overwhelmed by his emotions, that Randy dialed 911, confessing he just killed his roommate, Brooke Preston. Sheriff Steve understood the weight of remorse behind Randy's actions, assuring him that they acknowledged his regret. But now, a somber duty awaited them, informing Brooke's devastated family and reaching out to Randy's own mother. Memories flickered through Randy's mind, fragmented pieces of a night lost to a haze. As he struggles to recollect, the sheriff probes gently, hoping to piece together the puzzle.
We need you to help us, buddy.
Were you partying last night? Were you guys drinking? Were you doing any drugs?
His hesitant voice reveals snippets of the evening as he recalls moments of drinking and the presence of drugs. A vivid image emerges. Randy standing over Brooke's lifeless body, a knife clutched tightly in his hand. A visible wound on his own hand hints at a struggle, but the details remain elusive. He recalls their shared moments, drinking beers, the brand escaping him, simply enjoying each other's company.
What kind of beers were you drinking, man? Okay. And what about Brooke? What was she drinking? Same thing. Were you guys watching TV? Hanging out?
His memories seemed to fail him when it came to the exact details of the assault. Despite his ability to recall events leading up to and following the attack, he professed a troubling gap in his memory surrounding the most crucial moment. The effects of alcohol consumed the night before were not enough to explain this puzzling phenomenon. Sheriff Thompson, though empathetic, pressed Randy for answers. He assured him that he didn't believe Randy to be a bad person, urging him to confront the truth. Randy's inner turmoil was evident as he dealt with his own actions, desperately seeking answers that seemed just out of reach.
Listen, man. We'll figure it out, okay? No, absolutely not. You're not a bad person. Okay?
The investigators delved deeper into the perplexing case, desperate for any insight into what transpired that fateful night. The fragmented memories of Randy offered glimpses into a mind struggling to reconcile the unthinkable with the person he believed himself to be.
You said you hadn't been a boyfriend, girlfriend at any time with her, right? Okay. But I didn't see her, so I don't know. Is she attractive? Is it somebody that? Okay. I don't know. I'm trying to ask.
The community is shocked by the tragedy, expressed disbelief that someone like Randy could be capable of such a heinous act. They shared their own memories of a seemingly kind and normal individual, now entangled in a web of darkness and uncertainty.
You and Brooke at home, correct? You think. Okay. And you said your roommate, your other roommate, what was this, Rob O'Grady, you said? Rob O'Grady. Was he at the house last night? No.
The conversation begins with the sheriff inquiring about the events of the previous night. Randy confirms that he and Brooke were all alone at home, while the roommate, Rob O'Grady, was absent. The sheriff establishes that Randy and Brooke had been drinking together, but their recollections diverge when it comes to the question of going to bed. Randy claims to have gone to sleep while Brooke spent the night elsewhere, returning the following morning. The whereabouts of Brooke during her absence became a crucial focus of the investigation. Randy revealed that she had stayed at a friend's house named Kyle, although the exact location in West Palm Beach remained unclear. Intrigued, the sheriff pressed for more details, particularly regarding Brooke's visit to Kyle's house that morning, which ultimately ended with her returning to the residence she shared with Randy.
At a friend's house. Do you know what the friend's name is? What's the friend's name that she stayed with? Kyle. Where does Kyle live? Does he live around you? Around West Palm somewhere? Okay. What time did Brooke go to Kyle's house?
The conversation takes a haunting turn as the harrowing truth is revealed, the extensive injuries inflicted upon Brooke's body. The examination indicates 25 puncture wounds and numerous defensive wounds, signs of a fierce struggle against her assailant. In contrast, Randy's body exhibits scratches and a deep cut on his hand, necessitating medical attention. These findings suggest that as Randy mercilessly attacked Brooke with a knife, she fought back with every ounce of strength, leaving her marked with wounds and him plagued by amnesia. Then the conversation delves deeper into the dynamics between Randy and Brooke. The sheriff questions Randy about the belongings Brooke had with their home, specifically clothes and bags. Randy confirms her possession of such items, revealing that she had packed her things into a car. It becomes evident that Brooke intended to drive back to her hometown, indicating that she was in the process of retrieving the remaining belongings she had left when she moved out.
She put her stuff in the car? Okay. Are we talking duffel bags, or did she have it packed up? Do you know? So she was planning on driving back home to PA? Okay, so she was basically, was she loading up the rest of her stuff that she left at the house before she moved out?
As the documentary progresses, the complex emotions entangled web of Randy and Brooke's relationship became apparent. Randy, a solitary figure, admits to not currently having a girlfriend. However, the sheriff soon discovers a compelling twist. Randy had spent a considerable amount of time with Brooke. This revelation ignites suspicion that hidden beneath Randy's stoic facade may lie unrequited love, a secret affection for Brooke that he dared not reveal. Could it be that Randy's fear of losing Brooke's friendship compelled him to keep his feelings buried deep within? Did he deliberately abstain from relationships, secretly nurturing the hope that one day Brooke would reciprocate his affections? During the relentless interrogation, the sheriff presents damning evidence. He confronts Randy about his left-handedness and a fresh cut on his left hand, meticulously tying them to the haunting 911 call Randy himself made, confessing to the murder. Throughout the intense questioning, Randy persistently seeks information about his mother's involvement. His sole focus on her, devoid of empathy for Brooke's family or others, unveils a profound bond that surpasses ordinary relationships. In a startling turn of events, the police contact Randy's mother, divulging the grim truth of her son's actions. In a desperate bid to shield Randy from the consequences, she contends that he was sleepwalking, recounting episodes from childhood when he would wander aimlessly while in a state of unconsciousness. His account reveals a calculated plan to lure Brooke back into his grasp using a simple pretext, a t-shirt. But what followed was a terrifying descent into madness, as Randy's consciousness faded, only to awaken with a knife in his hand, a testament to his unspeakable deeds. It becomes clear that Randy's love for Brooke was far from ordinary. It was an all-consuming obsession that knew no bounds. In his delusion, he believed he could not live without her. And so, when she returned, Randy ensured she would never be able to live without him. Sensing an opportunity, the detectives employ psychological traits, manipulating Randy's fragile emotions to make him believe Brooke is still alive. The camera captures the haunting fear in Randy's eyes, the flicker of guilt that threatens to consume. The sheriff presses on, compelling Randy to face the consequences of his actions.
What is Brooke going to tell me? Okay? What is she going to tell me? What is she going to tell me, Randy? Right? There's a reason things happen. Okay? Things happen for a reason, Randy.
The weight of his deeds gnaws at his soul, tearing him apart from within. In her desperate attempt to find redemption, Randy is urged to reveal what truly happened. The truth must be told, for the sake of Brooke's grieving parents, who deserve to know the fate of their beloved daughter.
Attacked her? Okay. What is she going to tell me? All right. I'm going to have to tell her parents. You know? I'm going to have to tell them something happened.
The sheriff alludes to Jordan, Brooke's sister, and her potential knowledge of the history between Randy and Brooke. He anticipates that Jordan's testimony will shed light on this case.
I have plenty to say. Or Jordan, I'm sorry. Last name Preston. What's Jordan going to say? Jordan's going to have a lot to say. I'm sure she's going to enlighten us onto some stuff that's going on.
The sheriff acknowledges the importance of Randy's mother's perspective, believing that she holds vital information that could help piece together the truth. He emphasizes the need for Randy to reveal the backstory, to let his mother and others affected by the tragedy know what really transpired.
I get a feeling when we dial your mom's number here in a second, your mom's probably going to enlighten us too about some stuff that took place. I'm sure she knows that you love her and you're sorry, but she's going to know what the hell.
The sheriff confronts Randy, urging him to face the truth. Evidence will expose what happened, and the sheriff is committed to justice. But Randy's reluctance to share the full story leaves gaps.
And there's gaps. There's gaps that need to be filled. Because we don't go from a t-shirt and a hug to a phone call to 911. Something happened in between there, Randy.
The scratches on his chest and the time between a harmless exchange and the emergency call are still a mystery.
Randy, come on. No, yes you can. You can do this.
You can call my mom and just tell her.
What was that?
Sorry. I can't do this right now.
All right.
As the interrogation reaches its climax, Sheriff Johnson attempts to break through Randy's mental barriers. Their interrogation ends, and Randy is booked into the county jail for murder. The case heads to trial, where Randy's lawyers would present a controversial defense. Randy's lawyers would claim that sleepwalking was the cause of Brooke's death. The prosecution, however, would argue a different narrative, one fueled by a dangerous obsession. They would explain to the jury that Randy had fallen in love with Brooke. They would unveil the events leading up to that fateful day. The next day, realizing he had one last chance, Randy would text Brooke to come back and pick up a t-shirt. But as their conversation escalated, with Brooke rejecting his advances, a sudden wave of anger consumed Randy. Realizing he had just ruined their friendship and that she was about to leave forever, Randy's emotions spiraled out of control. In a moment of madness, he grabbed a hunting knife from the drawer and took her life. Randy would be convicted of murder, and in his letter, he would express remorse and offer an explanation for his actions. Randy's letter, I believe what happened in my case could have been the culmination of stress, depression, trauma, and alcohol. I am beyond sorry. Part of me feels like I deserve a life sentence, but the other part of me knows I did not intentionally do this, and I deserve a second chance in life. The idea that Randy killed his own love makes me feel extremely crazy, but not as crazy as when I watched, when a detective realizes the witness is a killer. Click that video right here.